Hi everyone. It's August 6th now. Never lose truth. Your content violated YouTube's community guidelines and has been removed. I cannot post for 2 weeks. Wow, I just got off a YouTube punishment and I'm back on. First, it was 1 week. Now, it's 2 weeks. Alright. If I get another strike in the same 90-day period, my channel will be gone. Isn't it interesting? I posted a video last night just realizing I keep forgetting to say please subscribe to my backup channel because I don't want to lose you guys. And I wake up this morning and I can't get on my channel. The first thing I see is that notification from YouTube. The community guideline I violated was a URL, a link. I posted the link, the Drudge link to that manifesto. You know, the El Paso shooters manifesto. Well, links now can also get you a community guideline strike. Well, if you're linking to pornography, which I didn't, linking to a website or app that install malware, which I didn't, link to websites or apps phishing for a user's login, credentials, financial information, etc., which I didn't, link to websites that seek to raise funds or recruit for terrorist organizations, which I didn't, links to sites containing child sexual abuse imagery, which I didn't, link to sites selling items noted in our regulated goods guidelines, which I didn't. Have you heard me say in videos, Americans, you are not to have any more security. No more security, even if you have a YouTube channel. We truly live in a narcissistic, abusive family. Yes, we are. The human race is a family. And unfortunately, the humans in this country, I'm an American, I speak about Americans, but I know that there's an awful lot of you guys in other countries experiencing the same thing, but we live in an open-air psychiatric ward with a whole lot of crazy people who are mentally ill. Oh, they're so well adjusted to a deeply disturbed society, which means they're mentally ill. You know, I was thinking about this. Now, I am the scapegoat of a severely narcissistic family. And for 60 years, I have experienced being blamed for things I never did. It's a kind of, it makes your life surreal. So here I am on YouTube, being blamed for things I never did, and being punished for it. It's like living in an abusive, narcissistic family. A traumatizing family. You know, an alcoholic, the chaos of an abusive alcoholic home. A child never knowing when they're going to get hit, when their parents are going to strike them, or being that scapegoat, when you're going to get blamed for something you never did and punished for it, and you can't counter it. Mommy is God. You can't counter the strikes on YouTube. Well, they're baseless, but who cares? When you appeal them, they reject your appeal. So this strike, before the one today, was Max Egan. It was about fascism and corrupt politicians. Having nothing to do with children, no pictures of children, but I somehow violated the child safety policy. I appealed it, telling YouTube this video had nothing to do with children, no pictures of children, so no sexualization of minors. Appeal rejected. No way to counter. You get to the point where you experience this over and over and over again. Perhaps it's learned helplessness. The last strike that I got, which was this violation of the child safety policy, I was upset. Very upset about my channels being taken down. And before those channels were taken down, Kafka Winston World twice, I encountered not community guideline strikes, but copyright strikes that were baseless. But it didn't matter. My appeals were rejected. And then the channel gets terminated. Now, these community guidelines, I have no copyright strikes on Never Lose Truth. Now copyright strikes coming out fast and furious. And they're baseless. They don't make sense. Nothing is making sense anymore. I was upset. This time around, okay, this is what we're living now. Just accept it. Move on. What can you do? But you know what? When you have no security, when YouTube does not give clear guidelines, I'm a hater? What did I say that was hateful? When their guidelines are not only vague, but they don't guide you. There's no guidance. There's no way to know when you get hit with these kinds of violations on videos that have nothing to do with the policy of YouTube's. So, will I get another strike on a video? Because this URL strike was on the video that I posted yesterday. This strike, this video was up for about a year. Response to Blackstone, Intelligence Wolfgang Halbig hit piece, Unconscionable. That was my first warning. See, I thought I was going to go down because, well, I guess I included the warning as kind of a strike. But I was wrong. Okay. So I get hit with another strike. My channel is still up, but if I get another strike within 90 days, my channel goes down. Well, this one came fast and furious on a link that I posted. So in 2 weeks, when I come back and I post, will I get another strike? Can I get another strike while I'm grounded by YouTube? Absolutely. And the channel will just go down. And I will have no way to appeal. I know that people have been able to contact human beings at YouTube. I've never been able to. So, now, I'm back on my backup channel, and for 2 weeks, this is the world that we are living in now, where nothing makes sense. Did you listen to Trump? And people still support this guy.
Good morning. My fellow Americans, this morning Our nation is overcome with shock, horror, and sorrow. This weekend, more than 80 people were killed or wounded in two evil attacks. One Saturday morning in El Paso, Texas, a wicked man went to a Walmart store where families were shopping with their loved ones. He shot and murdered 20 people and injured 26 others, including precious little children. Then, in the early hours of Sunday morning, Dayton, Ohio, another twisted monster opened fire on a crowded downtown street. He murdered 9 people, including his own sister, and injured 27 others. The First Lady and I join all Americans in praying and grieving for the victims, their families, and the survivors. We will stand by their side forever. We will never forget. These barbaric slaughters are an assault upon our communities, an attack upon our nation, and a crime against all of humanity. We are outraged and sickened by this monstrous evil, the cruelty, the hatred, the malice, the bloodshed, and the terror. Our hearts are shattered for every family whose parents, children, husbands, and wives were ripped from their arms and their lives. America weeps for the fallen. We are a loving nation.
Okay, look. Sorry. Delusion. We are not a loving nation. We are actually a very violent nation. And most live a delusion. We are not loving. If we were loving, this nation would be very different than what it is and what it has been. So, no, sorry. And for this guy to be talking about how shattered his heart is for every family that lost a loved one, do you believe him? I don't. I'm tired of the bullshit in our country. And it comes from way up top, along with all of the millions walking way down low. Tired of it.
And our children are entitled to grow up in a just, peaceful, and loving society.
Just peaceful and loving society. We're all about war. We're a killing machine. Get real, Americans. Get real. These people will lie to you, but please get out of this, oh, we're just morally exceptional, morally superior. We're loving and caring and compassionate. Well, what's happening on the streets? What is going on the streets? We're not that. And until we face the truth of who we are collectively, we will continue all of these staged shows with these presidents who come out and say, oh, we're a loving and caring nation. My heart is shattered. Does the truth matter to anyone anymore? Wow. I know that it matters to you guys, but we are, we make up not even a blip on the radar.
Together, we lock arms to shoulder the grief.
This guy locking arms? Really? He's locking arms? I don't think he's locking arms. These people are unreachable. They do not care about what happens to all of us. In fact, they take action to destroy us. So, tired of the lies. I will never get to see this country ever even move in the direction of real. That's kind of upsetting. But I guess I just have to accept. This is the way it is. Mentally ill. Living, with a whole lot of delusional people listening to the bullshit. And that's it, folks.
We ask God in heaven to ease the anguish of those who suffer, and we vow to act with urgent resolve. I want to thank the many law enforcement personnel who responded to these atrocities with the extraordinary grace and courage of American heroes. I have spoken with Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, as well as Mayor DeMargo of El Paso, Texas, and Mayor Nan Whaley of Dayton, Ohio, to express our profound sadness and unfailing support. Today, we also send the condolences of our nation to President Obrador of Mexico and all the people of Mexico for the loss of their citizens in the El Paso shooting. Terrible, terrible thing.
Do we know who died? Has mainstream media come up with some names? Are they, when you think about all of the immigrants, legal immigrants in this country, have we ever heard a president, when a legal immigrant who is an American citizen, but they came here from another country and went through, that process to become an American citizen, but they were murdered? Did we ever hear a president send condolences to the country where that American citizen was from? Or is he sending condolences to the Mexican president and Mexico for the illegal immigrants who were killed? Do we know? I've never heard this before. It is unprecedented. So what's going on here? Mexico said that they're going to sue Trump. Okay. We've got a lot of agendas going on. And there's always, whenever you hear people like this speak, read or listen between the lines. Something else is going on.
I have also been in close contact with Attorney General Barr and FBI Director Wray. Federal authorities are on the ground, and I have directed them to provide any and all assistance required, whatever is needed. The shooter in El Paso posted a manifesto online consumed by racist hate. In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy. These sinister ideologies must be defeated. Hate has no place in America. Hatred warps the mind, ravages the heart, and devours the soul. We have asked the FBI to identify all further resources they need to investigate and disrupt hate crimes and domestic terrorism.
Now, legislation will do squat in terms of hate. Now, if, let's say, these shootings were real, okay, and that shooter was the only shooter, and he actually did write that manifesto, would legislation do anything to prevent someone from shooting up somebody else that they hate? No. So, now we've been listening to hate, hate, hate. We've got to get rid of hate. Well, you know that all of that is an agenda. And the racism, well, Obama played that card, trying to get, blacks and whites to hate one another. Now, I live in South Carolina now, and one of the greatest things about this experience has been to see the enormous change. And I have had conversations with black South Carolinians, and they too, they got what Obama was doing, trying to get us to hate one another. They spoke of the enormous changes that have taken place in South Carolina in regards, to the discrimination, the racism. Not saying that racism is completely, gone, cured from South Carolina. No, there still is, and legislation's not going to get rid of that. The individual has to heal their mind and heart. But, everybody is, it is, you see these kids, black and white kids, they're friends with one another. The black and white parents show up and they're on the sidelines. I was watching this soccer game between 10 and 12-year-old children, and the white moms are laughing with the black moms, and you wouldn't see that decades ago. So the reason why racism never, ever comes off the stage, instead it's pushed and pushed and pushed because our leaders want us to believe that there is a major problem with racism and hate. Well, guess what? There really isn't. It's just this feed that we get from mainstream media and our leaders, used as a distraction, but used also as an agenda. Oh, right, this guy called for the death penalty, and quick death for hate crimes. There's always an agenda.
Whatever they need. We must recognize that the internet has provided a dangerous avenue to radicalize disturbed minds and perform demented acts.
Really? It's the internet? Oh, that's right. It's the conspiracy theories that influence apparently a lot of white men to pick up an AK-47, go into Walmart, and shoot people. All right. We're going to get nowhere, guys, because we don't have the numbers. But for the Trump supporters supporting this guy, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
We must shine light on the dark recesses of the internet and stop mass murders before they start. The internet likewise is used for human trafficking, illegal drug distribution, and so many other heinous crimes. The perils of...
Okay, so he comes out to give a speech about these shootings, and now he's going on about the internet. So what's going to be happening is surveillance. More surveillance. Oh, and then he speaks about the red flag laws. More guns will be taken from innocent Americans. And that's Trump doing it.
Of the internet and social media cannot be ignored, and they will not be ignored. In the 2 decades since Columbine, our nation has watched with rising horror and dread as one mass shooting has followed another, over and over again, decade after decade. We cannot allow ourselves to feel powerless. We can and will stop this evil contagion. In that task, we must honor the sacred memory of those we have lost by acting as one people. Open wounds cannot heal if we are divided. We must seek real bipartisan solutions. We have to do that in a bipartisan manner that will truly make America safer and better for all. First, we must do a better job of identifying and acting on early warning signs. I am directing the Department of Justice to work in partnership with local, state, and federal agencies, as well as social media companies, to develop tools that can detect mass shooters before they strike. As an example, the monster in the Parkland High School in Florida had many red flags against him, and yet nobody took decisive action. Nobody did anything. Why not? Second, we must stop the glorification of violence in our society.
This guy who had tanks rolling through Washington, D.C. on July 4th, the glorification of violence, that's what we have always been about. Americans, the only way to stop what is going on is if you get informed of the truth. You face reality of what you are, who you are, and then what and who we are collectively, and then start behaving with some mental health. All this legislation is only moving us deeper and deeper into a tyranny that, well, because of ignorance, because of holding no one accountable, that's what we're living already. This guy is moving us deeper and deeper into it.
This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace. It is too easy today for troubled youth to surround themselves with a culture that celebrates violence. We must stop or substantially reduce this, and it has to begin immediately.
I'm sorry. Celebrate violence. Remember the Bush and Cheney, the war, the invasion of Iraq based on a lie? Shock and awe, 24/7. Every news outlet, glorification of violence. We are not a peaceful society. So whatever the hell this guy is talking about, it's just more horseshit.
Cultural change is hard, but each of us can choose to build a culture that celebrates the inherent worth and dignity of every human life. That's what we have to do. Third, we must reform our mental health laws to better identify mentally disturbed individuals.
Okay. To take away their guns. So, you have a psychiatric diagnosis. You've maybe left a comment, posted a video, and said something about a particular group. Look, we have already witnessed others having visits by the FBI. That's going to happen more frequently.
Who may commit acts of violence, and to make sure those people not only get treatment, but when necessary, involuntary confinement. Mental illness and hatred pulls the trigger, not the gun. Fourth, we must make sure that those judged to pose a grave risk to public safety do not have access to firearms, and that if they do, those firearms can be taken through rapid due process.
Rapid due process. Noticed how he cleaned up what he had said at the conference table about taking away the guns and then due process? Second is, forget about due process. Just lock the people up, take away their guns, then due process. He cleaned it up. But I do want to point out, okay, so I have this video taken, I'm punished again by YouTube, based on a link to that manifesto that Trump said was online. What did I do wrong? I linked to the manifesto. Apparently, that's wrong. And the only category that I could fit into is raising funds or recruiting for terrorist organizations. Is that what I did? Does it matter now? Because I linked to that? Will I be questioned? We're living a time that certainly is unprecedented, and it's going to get more unprecedented. That noose of tyranny, it's getting tighter and tighter, and this guy is tightening it.
That is why I have called for red flag laws, also known as extreme risk protection orders. Today, I'm also directing the Department of Justice to propose legislation ensuring that those who commit hate crimes and mass murders face the death penalty, and that this capital punishment be delivered quickly, decisively.
But we're not a violent country. All right. The censorship is getting pretty tight. And this guy just posting a video on Pokemon Go. He got his channel taken down for sexual content. Algorithms. Artificial intelligence. How do you like it? Why? Because he in his video had the letters CP, the title of his video. CP. So CP apparently was blacklisted.
Get that off the site.
Wow. My God. The audio, I don't know what's going on, but
CP, in Pokemon Go terms, which means combat power, was mistaken for child.
Obviously, if YouTube are trying to take down those actual sick channels, then more power to them. I don't want to undermine that big problem on YouTube because it is pretty serious, and I'm not going to go into detail about it because that topic deserves a whole video by itself. But blacklisting the words CP in titles and tags and striking anyone who's used them is just a bit of a ridiculous way of going about it. But not only was this a careless move by YouTube, it actually reveals how flawed their channel termination systems are and the lack of human review that goes into it. 2 letters in the title or tags in those channels, even with millions of subscribers, are instantly written off the face of the internet, with no word at all from YouTube. It would be like being an artist, right? You're working on this one painting for like a year or two, while being paid daily, you're doing everything right, everything that's been asked of you, and suddenly your employers just go, actually nah, launch your painting off a cliff for no apparent reason, tell you to go and get another job. Yes, I'm saying making Pokemon Go content on YouTube is not.
no security at all. Guidelines mean nothing. Nothing. Everything means nothing. Anything goes, and everything is meaningless. That's what life has come to. I don't like it, but that's what it is. Blacklisted Federal Reserve. This was posted yesterday. James Corbett. YouTube blacklists Federal Reserve. Those words. Like CP. Federal Reserve. Why? Because YouTube does not want Americans to know the truth. I'll link below to everything you can watch it if you want. This was the congressional hearing on Google censorship today. Once again, a stage show for the American people. Ted Cruz gave an impassioned speech. Google has unprecedented monopoly. Oh, Ted, well, Congress is, they break up monopolies. Why aren't you breaking up this unprecedented monopoly of Google? Because Google equals government, and Americans, they still think it's a private corporation. They get to do whatever the hell they want to do. Standard Oil was a private corporation, and they got broken up. Oh, right. That's when Congress was, well, doing a little bit of its job. Today, you see a staged show go on. But I do want to say, bring your attention to Robert Epstein. This is a 7-minute video, and it's an important video, so I hope that you listen to it. And he talks about how monitoring of Google and Facebook and big tech needs to be done, and it can be done. So, it can be done. Huh. Ted, congressional hearing. You heard that it can be done. So do it. Do you think that we will see any changes, whatever changes that you see, if they do come about from this hearing? They will be the announced changes. It will be the propaganda that you hear. Google will still maintain its monopoly, and Google will continue its surveillance on the American people. Nothing will change. In fact, I got this from a subscriber today, exclusive: Google to block all anti-cancer, anti-vax, and anti-GMO websites at the browser level, as tech giant goes all in with pharma drug cartels. We have a criminal government. The corruption, it just stinks like the rain that came down today that left behind such a stench. The only way out is for the individual to say to themselves, okay, I've lived too long willfully ignorant. Now I must be a responsible, mature adult and face reality and face the truth of who I am and what this country is all about. We need the individuals in the aggregate to do that. Outside of that happening, very soon, truth will be gone, and we all will be very isolated. Very isolated. Right now, so many of us come to the internet for support because we don't have it in our real life. So I will leave you with this. Start thinking about, what are you going to do when you no longer have that cyber support? When I'm gone, when other channels are gone, Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? There are other websites, but I guarantee you, those websites will start to feel the pressure. Either they will be bought off and then controlled, as YouTube is, or they will feel the pressure. It'll be legislation coming out of Congress that will get the smaller video sites to censor their information, because they'll be hit with fines for any video that, well, is hateful, racist, it's has white supremacist content, it whatever. Thanks for watching. Ciao, guys.